Good evening and welcome. Hi, I just wanted to make a quick video kind of going over one of the easiest offers I've completed recently for Swagbucks. And I'll show you the details here shortly, but it's for an idle game called 7 Night Idle Adventure. It's pretty awesome, and I'll pull up the details here. So it was for around 240 US dollars, and this is completed in the United States. So again, their prices are always different based on your region, and the offer may not even be available. They allow multiple accounts per household if you have a significant other. However, the offer may not be available for one member of the household if it's available for the other. The other seems to come and go. But if you do see this offer similar to the one you see here, floating about Swagbucks, definitely pick it up. It's a very easy to complete. I finished the offer with 2 days left, completed all the goals, walked away with about $240 from it. The only purchase I had to make was the ad removal, which I would recommend if you're going to try this offer to do the ad removal, because it does significantly decrease the amount of time that you'll be spending on it frequently every day. And we're kind of going to go through. So in addition to just how to do it or where the offer is, it was only available on Swagbucks. I didn't see it on Free Cash or any other type pay to play games sites that I've seen. So I'll have a link to the Swagbucks site down below with the affiliate, of course. If you do decide to go try it out, check if it's there for you. You'll get a little bonus and it'll help me out as well. But what I want to do now is I'm actually going to show you the game. I want to show you what a daily rotation towards the end looks like. And again, different parts of these features unlock as you're playing it. But I kind of just want to run through and show you like what the game looks like on a day-to-day and the tips that I learned over the about a month that I played it in order to complete all the goals with only that one purchase, which was the ad removal, because you get a ton of stuff for the ad removal, and not having to be incentivized to click play on 15 plus ads a day made it well worth that one digital purchase. Plus, with the offer details, if I pull that back up here, you'll see they pretty much, I can't show you the exact amount because it doesn't show there. I'm pretty sure it covered, if not all, close to the exact amount of the purchase. So it's almost free for it anyway. In terms of getting it back, even if you don't complete the rest of the offer, you get that back in Swagbucks eventually. So I definitely feel like I didn't feel like I needed the gems. The gems, as far as I can tell, at least in my experience, were only really used for summoning, and you get so many just playing the game. I didn't really need more at any point, or felt like I was struggling with the need of gems. So I never really rushed that. So this is the game. You can see that I'm currently at stage 5,250 for the offer at the time of recording. You had to make it to 5,200 within 30 days. Again, I did it with 2 days left, and I'm going to kind of go through. So I kind of came in and kind of focused on the banners, and we'll start with that first, because when you're picking a team, the thing that I recognized when I started leveling up a team is that when looking at the banners, it was very easy to tell, okay, what was going to be useful for clearing stages and what is useful for like PvP or the other game mechanics. And the main thing to think of is like, you'll need a couple of good AoE heroes. Damage. You need more damage. Getting a survivability doesn't really matter because you have potions and there are other things that extend the fight. And there's one really easy to get hero that completely made the early stages a breeze to clear through, in my opinion, because he kind of like took away the entire need for a defense mechanic for the first part of the game. But in general, when looking through the banners, I would just look at, okay, is this a hero that's going to help me achieve my goal? Like this one gave a bleed, which is a dot, and increased burning damage, which is my team was doing burning damage. So I looked for heroes that actually like amplified a strategy, versus there were a lot of ones that were just like they CC'd. Like I think she is a CC'er. So like she pulls them into position and she silences them. And that's really good. And she's technically doing 700% damage. So like there's potential here still. She's not really a bad one. I just haven't had a chance to go over her. But in general, there were some that were, you could tell, were very much more like a PvP hero, where they were stuns the target, silence the target. And there are certain sections of stages where the bosses are immune to all of that anyway. And if you're trying to focus on CC and defensives and support heroes, too many support, it just slows down your progression. You really want to focus on status effects that deal damage over time, ways to stop recovery. Having one hero that can strip buffs off the target and stop recovery was a super help for certain sections of the stages. But we'll kind of go through that here, just pane by pane, and we'll kind of go through a weekly day rotation. In the hero pane, you've got all your heroes. as you make it through stages, more slots unlock and you get to progress them. When you first start off, you can get them to level 50, and then as you unlock different objectives, you eventually can break through them to get them up to 55 and higher. To beat the offer, you only need a couple of heroes at 55, which is the first breakthrough point. I will say there's another, looking at the hero window, a couple things to note. You'll barely get into the equipment system before you finish the offer, so that's not super important. I would say these are important. Having your top 3 to 4 DPS and giving them accuracy and critical hit damage. This was a mistake I made when I was first learning the system. I wouldn't go anything in evasion, anything into critical hit resist. I would just go crit damage accuracy for your 3 to 4 top damage dealers. Similarly, when doing the dice roll, which is another mechanic, you will eventually unlock the ability to roll bonus stats for each hero, and the higher their star rating, the more slots you can roll. So when you really focus on one banner or one hero or two, you'll be able to really focus this down and get all these slots unlocked to get the biggest bonus. Once again, we care about damage. You want to pretty much just go attack and crit damage across the board for all your DPS heroes, even your tanks and your supports. Like really, again, I can't stress enough. Don't focus on defense. Get the damage and just like DPS through the phases. Interesting system with the pets. You'll collect a ton of pets. They will all be they all do something different. But the thing to know about pets, you can only have one equipped, but that's just visual. The effect they have, the collection effect, is account-wide global. So you don't just want to go on one pet and level it up. And it's the same thing with heroes, and we'll talk about that in a second. You don't just want to go to one pet and just level that one pet. You want to kind of spread it out. And you'll see here that I kind of have everything at minimum of level 10. This must have been a new one. But you kind of just want to keep them semi together. And then again, the ones that are attack, crit damage, damage sources, you boost them a little higher. Because the higher you go, the more it costs. So having the entire team balancing out, you'll get more overall stat bonus out of that. And it's the same with heroes. You do want to get your first team maxed out pretty much as fast as possible, but after that, you don't stop, right? And I kind of went and started just rushing the second team because there are arenas, PvP, where you need 3 teams, and a guild battle where you need 3 teams. And I was like, okay, I need to be assisting in these as much as possible, so I really need to get 3 full teams. And you'll get there eventually, but in reality, before doing that, I would say go through all of your legendaries and at least all of your unique heroes that you unlock over time. Get them to a minimum of level 20 across the board, because it's way cheaper and faster to do that. And again, for every hero that you get up to 20, you can see I kind of stopped towards the end because I didn't feel the need for it as much. But when you level up a hero, and I'll throw him up here, even if they're not used anywhere, every time they meet a bridge point, they unlock a point in the codex. And the codex, by them leveling past certain points, and it may not be the rares. Maybe that's why I stopped doing the rares. Maybe I discovered that is what happened. Sorry. We're going to correct that real quick here. I just saw that. As you get new heroes, for all of your legendary heroes, make sure they are leveling up equally so that none of them should be below level 20. And kind of like you still will eventually get your 3 teams at the top, but you want to go ahead and start leveling up the other ones too. Don't just stop because you have your primary team, because you'll see I got him to level 20. That unlocks his codex, which gives you bonus gems for summoning, but it also, again, account-wide, it gives more accuracy, attack, crit. So it's giving you account-wide bonuses for breaking through tiers of levels. So you don't just want to focus on one set of heroes first. You kind of want to get your first team, your first 10, and then you want to kind of like even it out and get all of them to 10, get all of them to 20, and then, okay, now let's go ahead and build team 2, team 3 to 50, and go back and start doing 30 and 40, right? I found that to be much more beneficial. In terms of orientation, your tank goes in the front, your 3 melee DPS, and some ranged DPS and support. Early on, I did need a healer, need a healer. Also, when you're going to bed to sleep, throwing in a healer support to AFK so they're not dying and having to reset the stage as frequently is super beneficial. So kind of like you get 3 different formations to set up 3 teams. Have one team for when you're trying to clear, which is your DPS just push team, where you have less support, more damage, because again, you can compensate for that. In a second, we'll talk about the food system to get to more of the defenses and the stats as well. Also, there's a hero in the unique tier that I got early on and I started using called Nox. The reason this guy was my savior and got me through a ton of stages early on and really let me go into the full just glass cannon DPS build all the way is because he has this special unique ability where he becomes immortal for 8 seconds when he dies. So if the boss would be too difficult for my team to handle and he would be defeated and the potion wasn't enough to save him, it didn't matter. He would still stay alive and have a full 8 seconds, to continue the fight. The reason that's important is the fight has a timer anyway. Let me show you that really quick here. When you're clearing a stage, by default, they'll just be clearing trash and giving you loot and collecting you things. But when you're ready to fight the boss, you just summon the boss. You turn on your potions to tell it consume your potions. You set the percentage somewhere around 80, and they will fight the boss. Now, if you notice here, there's the boss's health that you have to work through, and then there's the timer. And you'll notice here, I won't beat this boss in time because he's doing healing and other things, and I'm not doing enough damage because I've overpushed the stage that I can clear without any extra buffs. If he was doing a ton of damage and was killing my tank, he would start killing other players, and that damage would fall off even more. But if you can't kill him and the timer's up, if you can't kill him before the timer's up, it doesn't matter because you've already lost the stage and it resets and you start again. So having more into tanks and support doesn't matter because you still, at the end of the day, you have to beat the clock. You have to beat the time to get through it. Now, the way we do this, and what's important that I didn't know early on but I learned afterwards, is the food. The food gives you bonuses for 10 minutes at a time. So when you've done all your other objectives for the day and you have all your team leveled up and as powerful as they can be, then you go into what's like a clear session where you basically turn on, spawn the boss, fight the boss for 10 minutes, and you just kind of leave it and let it go. You can still do the objectives here, the guide objectives, and I'll show you that here in a second. You can do those objectives while it's happening, because none of them stop it from doing the fight. But if you go into a dungeon or you go into PvP, if you go into any other system that is separate from what's in this guide, that fight will break the boss battle, and when you come back, they won't be fighting the boss anymore. They'll be fighting the stage again, and you will have lost time of your food buff. You really don't want to do that. So, for the food in particular, you have eventually you will unlock the cauldron. I don't remember at what point you do. Until then, use maybe a food here and there sparingly, but kind of wait till you get this cauldron unlocked, because what you can do is you can take 3 of any food to make a blue version of the food, or 1 of each food to make the bento box. And the reason this matters is in comparison, each of the little food does something small. This is an attack speed. So again, doing some stake early again to clear a couple extra stages for each point, not a big deal. I would kind of just hold on to these, and these are the ones I would convert it myself. But the blue version of the food, no matter which version you make, they do all of it. They give them attack, speed, crit damage, defense, life. It's everything. Right? And it's 10 minutes of all the buffs, all wrapped in one. And if you're really in trouble, you can technically stack 1 blue. But you can't, using these with it doesn't do anything, because it says on it that you cannot be stacked with the same effect from other dish items. So it'll let you consume the green ones with it. That's just because it assumes you read it, but it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. It actually is a hindrance to do so. So do not do that. Just pop it, and you can see stage cleared. So every time you clear a stage, you're getting gems, you're progressing all the bonus objectives, and you're pursuing your quest here. So just kind of while it's doing that, you're kind of just clicking through the guide here, and this stuff you can do while it's battling the boss. You can do everything in this tree. You can level up. You can level up your attacks. As they idle farm, you're getting gold every day. You're getting traits. All of these are different ways of buffing. The game will show you them as you unlock them. Like, these are relics. You spawn some relics, you level them up. But the gist of it is, when you start your day, you will come in and you'll kind of just do red dot simulator, right? First things first, we go to our envelope, we claim our rewards. Next thing we do, we go into our chest, general goods. We pop all of this to get the resources from it. And this is basically everything they farmed while we were offline, or rewards that we got that were sent to our general good box. Early on, these things are basically 2 hours worth of AFK farming of that resource, be it hero experience or gold. My recommendation is, when you're first starting out, do everything else you can first to see how far of a stage you can push, because the further stage that you are, the more these are worth, because the higher amount you're going to get from it calculating that X amount of hours of farm, right? So you don't just want to pop these immediately when you first see them. Do all the other grinding for the day, and then come back into here and pop these last. And you'll get more out of them, and then you'll be able to go a little further than you would be before. These chests are for the essences, which again are one of your side things that you can level up. Essence research. Again, these are account-wide buffs for your entire team. These are very important. There is in the relic system, same thing. These are account-wide. That's why they're important to just keep up on this. There is this system that I just recently unlocked towards the end of this adventure called the Ancient Relics, and I have a few of them unlocked. It's okay to unlock them, but none of them really did, because they're very specific to certain groups. And in addition, they cost the same material to level up. But when I was leveling up there, I was getting like 0.2%, 0.02%. It was like nothing worth the amount of currency to put into them. So my recommendation is just to unlock them. If you get one that's mostly for your range and it's a damage, or mostly for your melee and it's damage, and you have that team that's centered around that, it's okay to buff them a little bit. I would just focus on relics, because again, you'll get to the goal without needing to go much further. I would just stay in the relic side of things, because these are a general 34%, 32% attack for everyone, and then extra bonuses for evasion type heroes, right? Like, so it has like two sides effect, where I think like this is, because this affects everyone, it's more valuable than trying to focus on the ancient. That's just what my finding was. I could be incorrect about that, but that's what I did, and it worked fine. The blessings are, again, more buffs. As you unlock systems, you kind of just go through it. You get the blessings by having your pets. Oh, sorry, it's under this menu. Here we go. Having your pets in the pet ranch. They accumulate this currency every day. Again, as you summon more pets, which you get from doing just the gameplay, nothing needed to be purchased. I have, you saw my pet catalog. There are just hundreds of pets in there, because you get, and I'll show you the summons you're saying. You get so many summons which in a play session, it's ridiculous. That's the one thing I was saying, just in terms of general gameplay. I think this game, for a free-to-play game, again, with the one purchase of the ads, if I was going to play it continuously every month, I would just buy the ad pack. I think everything else in this game is very forgiving. I will say that I hit the issue where, now that I've beat the Swagbuck challenge, which was awesome, I don't have a pool to want to really push, because there's no like milestone. There's no like stage number that when I clear, something amazing happens. I think in terms of a free-to-play player who has the grind, a grinder who just wants to grind through a game like this, if they had more milestones where you knew why you were trying to achieve that milestone, it would kind of make me want to push for it, and I would probably keep playing it, because I think the game is amazing. I think again, given the fact this is from a mobile game that's designed to just take your money, I think this game is insanely good. I never felt pressure. I'm not, because of the ad pack, I'm not watching 1,000 ads. I'm getting the rewards of it. But sorry, let's get back into it. So we level up our heroes. So we do our consumables that we got, and then we go into our heroes. Level up your heroes to the best you can. Again, as you summon them, there'll always be these events all that are auto level. There's never a reason not to advance a hero or a pet. Always just click advance all. You'll get costumes, potions, and at first I thought that you didn't want to buy these for anyone that is not on your main team, but I found out that this is not. I was incorrect. I watched a video guide on it. This is a coalition effect. It affects your entire account, and it's all heroes, not just this hero. So as you're getting the costume tickets while you go through the offer, use them. Buy costumes for any hero that's in your legendary team. It doesn't matter which. It'll just basically add 1% attack, 1% defense, 1% HP to your entire account, right? So, and you get those costumes from doing events and other things. So do that. We're going to quickly just show the codex is pretty much, it'll be your regular red dot simulator. You'll click on it, hit claim all, get your tokens, get your buffs. And you kind of just follow the guide. So it wants to summon here. So in summoning, you'll start off having to summon on the general banner until you get to the hero summoner rank to a certain achievement point, which is this one right here. Don't worry about it. You get millions of summons. You'll get through it. Don't feel pressure to buy to try to force this hero level. I'm hero level 9. I did not have any sweat about this at all. I got so many summons throughout the game between all the different events going on and all the different things you can achieve and the and the different systems, there's no reason you should feel the need to top up. If you do, there are, as you saw, there are other offers that I didn't feel the need to do, but there are like other, if you buy the new starter package, or the different rubies, which are again, all that converts into is more summons. So if you technically want to go that route, it'll like the offer will cover some of that cost. But again, I didn't feel it was necessary, and I had a great time without ever feeling pressured to. Once you get to, I think it's like level 6, then you unlock all the banners. And then you kind of just want to like pick one that you're going to focus on that costs your rubies, and make that the banner you focus on for your rubies, and then one that costs the tickets, and make that the banner you focus on the tickets. I messed up towards the end here. I thought she looked pretty, and I wanted to summon for her. It didn't. It was bad. She's not great for the stages I was trying to clear compared to the other version that's in only this selector ticket. So I have switched to this banner. But again, summoning is super fast and simple. There's no reason to worry about skipping. Just click auto summon. You can show the animation, skip the animation. You can kind of just let it go. There's no reason you have to sit there and see it. It doesn't change the odds at all. So if you're just trying to get through it, you can just click the auto summon, let it go through. Again, there's no other use for the rubies that I found anywhere in any of the systems. So they're just for summons. So don't feel like afraid to use them because you'll need them for something else. Technically, the one place that's not true, and you'll get towards the end, is some of the events, like the Challenger Pass, which I beat that one. Hold on, sorry, 1 second. Let me find the right one. Sorry, give me just 1 second here. Is it this one? Nope. I think it is the Challenger Pass. Here it is. So like a Challenger Pass, which is there was 2 during the time that I played this game. The first event and then this event now, which is the summer event they're having. You just by beating the stages, you get the ones on the left side for free. But if you really wanted to level up these heroes, and they were heroes that were doing your goal and being your primary DPS, you could pay gems to guarantee get one of them. I don't know that I would recommend this for like a summer event when there's 2 different choices here. But when it was just the King of Fighter event and it was just her, I used that opportunity. I bought just enough of her. I bought just enough of this character to get her to 7 stars, because the 7 stars allowed me to have her full tree of bonuses, so I could really juice her damage to the roof. So I think I put probably like 60,000 gems into that tree instead of into general summons, because the summon rates is like 0.02%, and 10,000 gems is just a guarantee versus having 3 summons, right? So to me it was definitely worth it to then buy it from the Challenger Pass. So keep that in mind when you're looking at those systems. We'll talk about those when we get to those in a second. I'm sorry that I'm taking a little too long, but there's a lot of things here. You collect your mail, you open your stuff from the boxes. Then you go into here, and from the work you did on the previous day, you claim your rewards for your previous day's stage clear. So the maximum you got into the stages, the more the reward here will be. We claim that. Then I go into here after I've popped everything out of the potions here, and I kind of just go through these tabs. I level up. You can click and hold these. You don't have to click. You don't have to spam click them. I was doing that the hard way and manually clicking it. Same rule applies here. What are we focused on? Clearing stages. How do we do that? Damage. You level up attack first, then defense and health evenly. Doesn't matter which. But you focus on the attack first. You will clear more stages just by focusing on attack. You can level it up by 1x, 10x, or 100x. I kind of, towards the end, just focused on 100x because, again, you get so many bonuses and so many things. I didn't feel the need to do it, to hold it for the 1x. And again, traits. Traits, by the time you're at the end, you have almost completely filled this tree. I don't know if there's a second part of it. You won't get there if there is. Again, same thing. Attack. I did the attack side first when it's far up as I can on the attack one. Basically did the attack one first, and then at the end of the day, I put a little bit into defense to keep defense trailing behind it. But attack always was the first tree that I prioritized, and I kind of hit it all the way. Relics, you really can't choose. The one thing to note about relics is it's just you summon them from up here with this currency, and then you hit level up to all. There's a chance they fail, so there's an RNG chance. There's nothing you can do to sway it in any way, so it doesn't matter. You just click it. You just click to summon, click to level up, and you move on with your day. With the essences, the thing to remember with the essences is that when you're opening them from your general goods, by default, you're going to have this window. It's important to kind of gauge how many you have and kind of summon an equal amount of all of them. Technically, I guess you could follow the same rule of thumb here and go more into the damage ones for more rolls into the damage affixes. But as far as I understand it, you can't get to the next tier of these. What do they call? I'm sorry. You can't get to the next tier of essences with, again, more attack, more defense. You can't get to the next tier until you have them all leveled up anyway. And leveling up evenly gets you to where you unlock these extra bonus heroes that are out there. And again, they're account-wide rewards. This is a 1% offline hero XP reward that's permanently applied to the account. So again, I would be careful not to avoid this. And try to, like, I would be careful not to just take all in one. Spread them out, make them about even, and then open down that way. Blessing again came from those pets that we saw earlier. They were in the ranch. You just put a team in there. You just hit auto. I didn't find any reason to like min-max or try to figure that out. I just literally just shoved them in there. They earn the currency. Most things in the game have auto recommendations. So if I go to my formation here, there's an auto formation that will try to calculate the best suggested party mode. There will be certain times you'll need to override it. Again, take out a tank, add another damage dealer, take out a support, put in more damage, or take out some damage to put in a heal or a tank. Make sure you have a balanced team for when you're going offline for the day and they're about to do the overnight farm before your next play session, right? Otherwise, for most things, you can kind of click that auto and it'll do very well. So we set up our teams. We've now consumed all of our consumables, and you can then you kind of just go through and click through here. Once your team is at a point where they're not really progressing anymore, and you've used your food, or if you haven't used your food yet, you finish whatever food buffs, whatever buffs you have rolling, you make sure they finish. Then we go into our daily grinds, which are these dungeons that unlock over time, and they each do a different thing. Gold dungeon gives you gold. Hero dungeon gives you hero XP, the token. So these are all the different currencies you need to level up pets, level up heroes, level up the different level up trees we just talked about previously. The thing to note here is that you can auto clear these, and it's tempting just to hit auto clear and be done, right? If you notice, there are 5 of those. Each one has 3 ads, which means if you weren't playing for the ad pack, that is over 15 ads. I'm sorry, that's 25 ads just in this system, and there are other places to watch ads too. Again, I highly recommend you buy the ad pack. Most of it's covered by the Swagbucks offer, and the amount of ads you would watch otherwise to be efficient and try to get to the stage goals would become a nightmare. Don't do it to yourself. It's not worth it. You can skip all the other purchases by the 1 month of no ads. You're only going to be playing it for a month. You don't want to sit through that many ads. It'll add hours to your day. It's not necessary. But it can be very tempting to just click auto clear and be done with all 6 stages at once and kind of get your reward and go over there. But the thing to note is, if you're auto clearing, you're getting the reward on the current stage of difficulty. You never want to do that when we're trying to push stages and we're trying to get as far as we can, because the first time you complete a stage, you get a first completion reward, which can be summon tickets and way more gold compared to the completion run. But if you do your first clear, you get the completion reward and the first time completion reward. So I'll show you one here just for an example to kind of stick to the point in, and then we're going to move on. But ideally, do not autocomplete unless you cannot clear the stage. If you've tweaked the team that's doing it and you can't find a strategy to clear the current difficulty, then auto clear and move on so you don't get stuck here for too long. But do not just do it as a default habit. You will fall behind on currency and leveling up your team, and you'll regret yourself towards the end of the challenge. So definitely make sure you are completing these and getting your first completion. As you can see, roughly towards the end of meeting the goal for the Swagbuck offer, if it stays at around 5,200, which is what it was when I completed it. Each one of these, I got to around 150 stages. So you want to expect to be somewhere in the same. Some of them are more difficult. They do require a little bit of difference. So this is using my range team. It needs more. It gives plus damage. Again, it kind of tells you, so it's pretty self-standard. This says more ranged heroes. So what did I do? I threw in my top range DPS, and it made it easy. Some of them become a little more difficult. This one, he does a big cleave that can kill people, and he's the opposite, right? He wants more melee, so I put in all my big melee guys. This one wanted attack speed, so I put my top autumn. This was basically it's automatic, right? So I told it automatically pick, and it picked who it believed was my top DPS team for it. So I just went to formation, auto formation. It picks who it thinks is the top systematically damage number, and that's the team I send in there. And again, I didn't get as high with this boss because it's basically if I had the patience to sit in there longer, I could have gotten further, but I would have to kind of like wait for the right RNG to where he doesn't kill the right hero to get through him. And again, I don't have that much patience. But for the most of them, in the hundreds, 120, 140, 150, is where you want to be towards the end of the challenge. So those are your hero dungeons. They all have 6 charges each. You want to clear them. They're there. So again, in terms of activity, you'll be doing this for probably 2 to 3 hours a day, each day of the challenge. And this is what you're doing. This is what you do during that time, while all the rest of the time the team's auto farming. But you clear your dungeons. Then you go to special dungeons. These unlock over time. These are faster compared to the other ones because there's only 2 attempts for each one of these. So you kind of just tell it edit auto. You can try to min-max this if you know how to get more damage. Again, more damage is better in my opinion. And then you just hit enter. But these ones in particular, the other dungeons you kind of have to wait to play out. These ones you can just skip through. Or maybe the other ones have a skip too. So you don't have to watch the whole fight. You can just skip it, get the reward, move on, go back to the screen, tell it to watch the ad, enter again, and there's 2 for each one of these bonus events. The first one you saw there was, I don't know if that's always going to be the case or it changes, but this one in particular was boxes that are more emphasized for pet experience and pet rewards, and it gives you a bonus wheel to spin as well to give you more pet summons, pet things, and it kind of emphasizes on the pet side of things. That's what that boss does. This boss was all about clearing to get this one is interesting because this one is shared. So even if you don't kill this boss, you still want to be clicking up here to get the rewards before you auto clear it because it's a shared thing with you and your server. So it's cumulative based on how much the server is doing. You'll probably have rewards to claim up here even if you don't seem to do well in the fight. But again, same thing. I just set up a manual. I put my top EPS team. I added in a manual healer to ensure he would always have some heals. And again, these ones are a little faster because they have the skip functionality. You don't have to watch the entire fight. You can start the battle, hit skip, get the reward. I did do a test early in this experiment or this offer to see if you would get more points doing it manually, like watching it through. You don't. If there is a difference, it's so negligible that it's not worth the time to figure out. Just hit the skip, move on. So you do those 3 things. There may be more, but this one gives you the rewards that are like the currency for rolling their bonus stats and stuff like that. Your Ifrit dungeon, this is equipment dungeon. You'll get this. This doesn't unlock till like very late in the offer. I think I only got it like a week ago. It's completely RNG who the equipment box is for. I didn't do a ton with equipment. I don't think you should really sweat over this. Still complete it so you'll get it, because if you do luck into a piece of gear for your hero, it does give you more stats. But like you see, I the entire time I played, I got 2 that are on heroes that I actually have leveled and I'm using. And I did take the time because it gives you the currency for it as well. So I did take the time to click the item and I leveled it up, and it just gives that one hero attack, defense, and health. So it is a bonus, but because you can't really pick who it's going to go on and you kind of just have to RNG into it, I wouldn't sweat over it. And you'll get but by doing it, you do get the currency. So if you do happen to RNG into the right character, then you can just come in here, hit enhance, and now that character is going to do more damage because of that. So it's not to be ignored, but don't feel bad if it doesn't drop things for your character. Arena, set up your team, hit the autocomplete. I got to diamond. This team is doing spectacularly well. Again, with PvP in mind, again, the rules kind of go out the opposite way, right? So if you have heroes level that do stuns and CC, like things that break the game mechanics, or strip, like this hero was when I summoned on the early banner, Vanessa. She's not her. Where is she? Here, Clemeth. She's a support that's not really a support. She doesn't heal the team, but she strips. She decreases the cooldown of my team, and she where is it? It may not be her. Sorry, there's one hero on the team that strips the buffs off the enemies. I found that was super important for PvP. Having a healer is almost required, because otherwise, if your team starts falling behind and dying, you're gonna fall behind. But for the most part, you can still just hit auto format if you don't want to think it, and you're gonna do okay, because it's not gonna like set you up for wrong on this one. And again, it has a quick match. The quick match is amazing. You don't even have to load into any windows. You don't have to see anything. It literally just does the fight, generates the data if you would win or lose, and then there I got nine victories, 1 loss. And then in the arena guild, for arenas, guilds, and most of the reward panes, everything that has a shop, food baskets first. For people playing long term, they would tell you to buy the summon tickets, the offline gold, the offline, like they would tell you to go for different things. And one guy mentioned costume tickets because it's a permanent account unlock. I get why. We're trying to rush how far we can go, how quickly we can go. Food baskets. You buy these. Like nothing else matters. Having that food buff is how you're going to clear the majority of your stages after you've done your daily grinding. You're going to do all your daily stuff, and then you're going to consume some food and let it go for an hour, kind of like basically consuming food every 10 minutes for the 6 food you get that day, and let it go for an hour and jump 100 to 300 stages. You're gonna find yourself doing that consistently because of the food buffs. You get the food buffs from the dishes. So from arena, guild stuff. I'll show you the other reward trees in a second. You buy food. Don't ignore food. That's the biggest tip I can give you. Same thing with Infinite Tower. This one you don't have to watch. It'll continue to the next stage. So this is kind of just hit enter. You have to let the fight play out. So this is kind of like when you need to take a break and you need to look away for 20 to 30 minutes. You just hit Infinite Tower, set up your team, tell it to auto pick the best people, and just tell it to go. If there's one stage in particular that you can't beat, look at what the stage has. If it's a stage like this where there's 10 other you're fighting a team of other players that are really overtaking your team, and you're seeing a lot of them die early, switch in the cheese tank that can't die, and put him in the position where the people are dying, so that he can kind of block them and can stop them from dying to give you time to clear it. The timer is much more forgivable in Infinite Tower, so don't worry about that. But you'll see here when I beat it, it's going to automatically proceed to the next floor if I don't click on it. So you don't even have to monitor it at this point. You kind of just start Infinite Tower and let it run, and then come back at it later. And once they cannot complete a stage, it'll go back to the other screen to say that you failed, to say that they couldn't beat it. We're going to leave. So Infinite Tower, at least once a day, go in there and just tell your team auto format or auto formation, and then tell it to go and let it run through as far as it can go. By the end of the challenge, I was up to about 571 stages of Infinite Tower. It does give quite a bit of rewards. I think you can see the full track here. Again, the biggest thing is you get more of the dice for rolling the bonus stats. You get some potions, you get costume tickets, and you get more summons to get more heroes so you can start getting your T up. The reason you need so many summons is this game has, kind of like every gacha game, you need, more so than most gacha games, you need hundreds of every copy of these heroes. You need not just like a few. You need probably, I think for a legendary, it's like 30 copies of a hero to get them to the 7-star, and there you can still go further because it's not just getting them to 5-star, because then they go through a whole another tier. You can see the highest I got was 1 hero to 7 stars, and I've been summoning religiously every day. So there's never enough summon. You need more. Now, in here, daily dishes. This is what you would have to click through for 5 more sets of ads if you didn't have the ad bundle. Get the ad bundle. Get the ad removal. You don't want, again, so that's 25 on the other screen, 5 on here. There's more in the shop. Get the ad removal. Missions, I don't even pay attention to these. If you go through the daily rotation, you'll do these without even thinking. Like you see, today's already done. These will just be completed automatically, and they have claim all buttons at the bottom. Conquest, this is the currency you need to roll the bonus stats for each hero. Don't forget to do it. You do it twice. You get 2 attempts per day. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it if you win the top or the bottom. You just come in here and click. And it doesn't matter which one you get. If you get the top one, you get more. You get so many dice. I still have, I min-max rolled for legendary or higher, legendary unique rolls only on all of my heroes. Let me show you that real quick. So that is the currency. I'll get somebody who I haven't rolled just to show you how it works. Oh, sorry, it has to be a 1-star. I forgot. Rachel. So no potential granted, right? So you get the dice, they roll, and they roll stats. And you can kind of hit roll. And at first you'll kind of like, I want to watch it. That takes way too much time. We're not here to spend our entire day doing this. Auto grant, again, attack, crit damage, drop 1 down. Dice boost, so it goes faster, because again, we're not trying to slow roll this. And go. I did that for every hero. Now, as soon as it finds one, you lock the one that it found, you go back into it, you click it again, go down, you tell it to go, and you let it do that. I did that for every hero on my team. I still have 126,000 of that currency. You get so much of it from the conquering thing, just doing it twice a day. Do not accept anything lower than unique. Just don't. It's not worth it. You get so much of the currency. It is extremely easy to have an entire person with unique. Ideally, you could even early. I would say your first roll, you kind of want to be a little more. If you have, if you have a character that has this many unlocked, if I was to do this again, I would tell it to roll for legendary first to guarantee one or two of these are legendary, and then do unique. That's what, knowing what I know now, that's what I would do. But when you're first starting out and you're only rolling a few of them, that's what I did for this one. So this one I rolled until I had 2 legendaries locked in. Then I went down to unique and let it finish out the character. Because again, these are permanent buffs for that character that never go away. And they're super helpful. This character, if you see her on a banner, you summon the shit out of her. I went from semi-clearing stages to knocking out like 300 stages like without any food buffs, and then doing another 300 with food buffs because of this character. She does this AoE tornado clown that increases the attack speed of my team, decreases the attack speed of the enemies, does 1,000% of her attack over 10 strike. Like, she does so much AoE damage. It is insane. I'm sure there'll be other heroes that look at that, but keep that in mind. You want in your core team at least like one huge AoE dealer, a couple of people that put on status effects like burn, bleed, poisons, whatever those are, whatever those you can get up, and then a tank to support your team, and maybe one healer if you're struggling. But getting that one huge AoE person is crucial for a lot of the big AoE stages. She kills it. This hero absolutely smashed this challenge. In a heartbeat. Sorry, where were we? Elite arenas. In elite arenas, you have to set up 3 teams. Again, you're going to lose these. You're going to really struggle in elite arenas. I'm only silver 3. I'm still struggling. I still lose more than I win in the elite arena. The quick tips I can tell you about elite arena is most people are going to just click on formation, go to team 1, put their strongest team as team 1, second strongest team as team 2, third strongest team as team 3. You take the extra 10 minutes when you first do this to break that mold, you'll do better. Put your strongest team as team 2, your second strongest team at team 3, and your weakest team as team 1, so that your weakest team is hitting into their strongest team. So for all the people that are just playing this game on auto, they don't really care and aren't putting any effort into this, you will beat those teams that put their best team first. So that's the biggest tip I can give for the elite arena, is to literally just take the extra 2 minutes to set it up. And again, so that's 7 wins, 3 losses there. But again, I can look and tell you that in most of the cases, when I lost a round, it's going to tell me that I lost. Where was it? It's going to say that I lost the first round because they put their biggest team in the first round, right? But I plan to beat their second and third team. I don't plan to beat the first team. And that has worked. That's given me that kept me within the 50s and the 60 to 70 percentile win ratio, which is enough to get what I want out of it, right? It's giving me the rewards at the end of the week. It is giving me, again, more food. We buy the food. That's what we buy. The rest of this is great. I'm sure if you want to keep playing the game, we can come for all of this. We buy the food. So that is the arena. When you can find a guild, you do want and need to find a guild. It is important. That's this banner right here. The reason guilds are important is, once again, there's a daily check-in where you request a free food. What do we care about? Food. I know. Big man talking about food in the game. It matters in this game. It literally matters more than in most of anything else. In the guild, you do your guild war, you do your guild boss battle. The guild war does give bonuses, but it's not as crucial. You're, again, starting out, you're going to lose these. It doesn't, because it puts you with all the other servers and all the people that have been playing that have wailed and are like infinitely ahead of you in power. You're going to lose these. Don't sweat about it. Make sure you do the attacks so that the guild leader doesn't kick you and you're participating. Maybe that was not a process. But don't sweat it. Same thing with here. Set up your your best 3 teams and just enter. Don't worry about your score. Just make sure your teams are set to be autoed and try to get the best score that you can do there. Again, these have a skip. You don't have to watch the animation. You have to sit there for 5-6 minutes and watch the whole battle. This game is amazing, where anything that has like a long battle with like 3 different fights, it will calculate the same damage if you just skip it. It'll show you, give you the result. If you want to see it the first time to see what it looks like and ooh and ah, go for it, right? But in terms of like efficiency and getting through everything for the day and not feeling bogged down where you're having to play 4 to 5 hours, so you can cut it down to 3 hours and then be out for the day, Don't we don't need to watch all that. Same thing with this. You'll notice my characters and they are going through it. There is a story, and it tries to pop up all the time. There's an option that pops up when you first start seeing the story to skip all story. I click that immediately. If you want to go back and make another, you can make a new account on a different server and go through it again if you want to see the story, if you care about that. But in terms of timing and efficiency, we skip that. We did that. Passes. These things, you're gonna click them and you're gonna consume them. You get free tickets to summon. There's not a lot of tickets in here. But they're in here. But these are here all the time. The problem with these things is like the reward is so few, but the red dot's always there. If you're gonna click on it anyway, they're not very important. They're not worth buying for the pass rewards. Please don't. That's like the worst value I've seen in here is doing that. Don't. But anyway, arena, do your guild stuff, do your guild wars, do your guild battles. Again, the reason why in the guild shop as well, in the reward for that stuff in the guild shop, what do we want? So in here, there's no food. Oh no, what do we do? The two things that I found useful in the guild shop, these strengthening stones towards the end of the challenge, they're the thing that let you break through your hero from level 50 to 55 to get that extra power out of them. So I started buying the strengthening stones, and I started buying this week. I tried to buy a little bit of the rainbow ore because I was trying to test getting more of the augmentation of their crit damage and accuracy to see if that would scale me past further stages. I think that was a mistake. I would just go back to strengthening stones early on because I found out you can go higher. From the videos I watched, they can go to level 70. I don't have anyone past level 55. So I would just focus on early stage of account. I would focus on strengthening stones. The emblems come out of the guild battles. That's why you participate even if you lose. You still get these. But again, these are permanent account-wide buffs. And they're a lot. 120% attack, 120% defense, 120%. Like we take these, right? We don't leave that behind. I think they're account-wide, right? Yeah. There's the emblem enchantment stuff. We never got that far. You don't get that far within the challenge. They use the dust, which again we don't get enough of at this tier. I just found a guild that was semi-full that had an active leader. So when you search for a guild, all you're looking for is a guild with 20 to 30 people, 20 to 25 people that have room for you. With that you can look at, you can see the member list. Look to see if they have members that are over 3 days AFK. If they are, that's an inactive guild. You don't want it. Find a guild where there's at least the leader going through and pruning it every 3 days of the inactives and bringing in new people. That'll make sure you have someone doing the dish support, and that'll make sure you have a guild battle and a guild. That'll make sure you're getting the guild boss rewards, and it'll make sure you have a guild battle to go to. That's how you find. Again, it doesn't matter what guild. Just make sure that it has a leader pruning inactives so that it's active and it's doing what it needs to do. All right, so that's that. A couple last things. So summons, again, this will kind of like keep taking you into the summons. Like here, it'll take you to pet summons. You can see I have 365. Again, I just go. There are pet banners. It's never worth using your rubies on pets. Don't. There's no reason to. I never found a reason to go and spend rubies on pets. Just do the tickets that you get that are only pet tickets that can only be used to summon pets. And when you have those, just again hit auto summon, summon 30 at a time, and it'll sprue through your tickets quickly. You'll see for each one we're getting the duplicate of the pet to try to level up. We're also getting the currency to level pets because the pets don't get currency when they're farming in the world. They get currency by summoning more pets. And again, once you finish summoning them, you just come check your pet window. If this button was lit up, I would hit advance. It would tier up the star up whatever pet started up, and then I would level up a pet based on the experience that I got from summoning. So I would hit level on attack. I would typically try to I would lean towards the attack / crit damage pets before the other ones. But towards the end, I just kind of level up the whole batch evenly to kind of to tier up my entire team. That is the pet. And again, for hero summons, same thing. You'll have one hero. So this is the hero I'm currently summoning off of my tickets. So I would just click on her, tell it to summon, auto summon at 30 at a time, and just let it run through them. There was a moment in this offer where I got to the point where I had summoned a full banner, and I didn't have another banner that I was interested in pursuing because it was like a tank hero, and I didn't want to blow my gems on a tank hero. I just held them and kept them for I think like 4 days, and then the new summer event started, and then I used them, and then I got a huge head start for the summer event, and that was for this banner that I made a mistake on. Unfortunately, it wasn't the hero that I wanted. I didn't realize that I summoned for the wrong hero, but that's my mistake, not the game's mistake. But you can see I jumped like 6,000 into this one because I saved when I had finished the last banner. And I was still clearing enough stages per day that I wasn't like scared that I was going to fall behind on stages. If you have to wait more than 4 days, you probably want to pick a banner and summon anyway, just because you don't have time to wait for the events. I just got lucky that I kind of came in towards the end of the King of Fighter event and the beginning of the summer event, and they kind of clashed together, and I got a lot of bonuses out of the two events. I don't know that'll always be the case. It worked really well for me for this offer this time, because again, I got the end of that event bonus and the bonus for this new event. In the shop, it's gonna red dot to tell you to come look at when they have new things in here. The only thing I bought in here was, I think I got like one of like the 99 cents guaranteed hero tickets for the last event, because it gave me the one hero that I knew would carry my team. So I bought one of those for 99 cents. And then you have to come in here once a day to scroll all the way down. And unfortunately, I couldn't find any way to skip to it. But you scroll all the way down to here, which is, again, the daily set of ads. I don't remember before purchasing it if you have to do the ad for each piece of this. I think you do. I think it's like 1 ad, 2 ads. I think it's another 6 ads. But again, because we bought the pass where we don't have to watch ads, we hit 1 click and we get all of them. I think if you don't have the ad pass, that's 6 more ads you have to watch. So we're looking at almost 40 ads a day to be optimal. Don't do it. Buy the ad pass. Daily shop, there's 1 here, which is 1 more ad, so like 47 ads per day. Don't do it. Like, I get it. That's how they make the money for a true free-to-play player. I could not watch that many ads. Not when the cost of like getting 240, getting somewhere around $200 for this offer, and using 7 of that to make the offer not a headache. It makes a lot of logical sense to me. But again, if you're okay with the ads and you want to get that extra $7, absolutely go for it. This, for my Galaxy device, happened all the time. It kept crashing the store. It doesn't stop the game from functioning. Don't worry about it. Just tell it to close the Google store of it, and then you'll stop seeing that pop up. It never impacted my gameplay, but I did see it quite frequently. These are just other events. You get these as is pursuing. You'll get these as you clear stages. There's nothing really you can do to pursue this. If you're falling behind, I would say that this was the only other thing that I looked at and considered as a catch-up mechanic, because you get a bunch of like XP up and gold up to kind of like progress those tracks faster, and you get a ton of food. I think I went through and I added this up, and it's like 24 to 36 food baskets, which is like at least 12 to 15 of the blue food, which again, that's over 2 hours and 20 minutes of clearing stages. So like if you're starting to fall behind and you want to really do a catch-up session, I don't think one of these, especially if you've already farmed to clear this side and you'll get all the rewards at once, I don't think this is a terrible buy. Because if you fail behind, you had to take a day or 2 off, and you really need to play catch-up, I think there's enough value in here in terms of the food to help you kind of get to the end of the goal within a time frame to make sure you're going to get the reward. And again, especially if they change the reward, if they realize how many people are clearing it at its current tier and they scale it up to go even further, you'll kind of have to figure that out from there, depending on how the offer changes, because the offer will change. Sometimes it won't be available. Again, in the link down below in the description, you'll have the link to my affiliate for Swagbucks. I found it on Swagbucks. The other ones that I've seen that could have an offer very similar would be like Free Cash. There might be one on what's the one? Misplay, but I wouldn't recommend doing Misplay because it tracks the time and gives you like rewarded over time, and this isn't a game you're playing for time. So I wouldn't recommend it on one of those type of apps. I would recommend it on like a Free Cash or Swagbucks, because those ones are where you're gonna see the $200 plus potential payout for meeting the objectives. And again, I'm going to show you those really quick. The reason that I really like this one compared to other games similar to this, the big difference here is all of this is obtainable. It's getting to certain stages. It's summoning enough heroes to get because when you look at this compared to the other offers, you get scared, right? Because you go hero summoner level. Oh, that's the VIP system, right? It wants me to buy enough currency to get to a VIP level. But in the summoning system, it's not that. For this game, it's literally just do that many summons. Which, because you need to scale up your team anyway, and you need thousands of heroes in this game, because it is ultimately you need thousands of heroes all the time, there's no reason you're never not going to be summoning unless it's like holding them for a day or two waiting for the next event. So I found this to be one of the most generous offers ever seen that I've completed on Swagbucks because everything is obtainable. Every one of these goals is easily reachable, and none of it's hidden behind paywalls. There's no like scaling factors that try to like make it against you and try to like stop your progress compared to like other offers where you'll hit a wall where like the cost to proceed will be like infinitely X times more difficult. None of that exists here. It is literally a fair system in terms of how you progress in it. And every day you'll be making progress and feeling you're growing. And it felt good the entire way through. I really enjoyed it. As you go, you unlock more heroes. You make your team stronger by adding more people there. You can see I'm still missing one. If I got to stage 8001, I would get my final slot unlocked and add another field or hero to the battlefield. And overall, I really just enjoyed the game. It was very fun. There's a good feeling when you're summoning just hundreds of heroes at a time to tinker with. And again, when you have the downtime, once you've done like the grindy part of it, and then you just have time to sit back and kind of go through the heroes and see what they do, they are all uniquely different. They do different things. So there is a strategy element there in terms of like, if you want to play a game like this and you want to take time to kind of like min-max the team, there are a few other guides out there that I found. Not a lot. Not a lot of people are making guides for this game because it doesn't have... I think because, again... Sorry, I'm leaning to the side. I think because, again, it doesn't have, like, a reason to really want to push further. There's, like, the story felt very bland and very stapley. So the story doesn't... I think the story's not going to catch anyone. The PvP, because even though I love that the autoplay is there and the quick match is there and you're in and out, I think it also hurts them, unfortunately, because you're not seeing how the heroes are interacting in the PvP, so you're not wanting to constantly change or manipulate your PvP teams to kind of like really make it a PvP game. So it's not that, but it's also an idle adventure. It's not supposed to be those things. So I think that's fine in the long run because it does what it wants to do. It is a game you feel like you make progress every day with 1 to 2 hours of active gameplay, and then it does all the work for you when you're offline. It has enough things to click on that you feel good about clicking on them. And it was overall a really fun experience. I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments below. I will do my best to keep up with it for the next few weeks and try to come back and reply to them. I haven't made a video on YouTube in quite a while. I really wanted to make a video for this in particular, in this offer that I did, because I've done a few of these to try to help my family kind of catch up when we've fallen behind on bills for certain things. And doing an offer here and there for $100 here and there is really nice. This was $240 a year in the US for me, for a game that was totally fair. I spent $7 or $8 if you had the 99 cents to complete that offer, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I checked my wife on the Swagbucks, and unfortunately the game wasn't available for her. So check to see if it's available for you in your region, and if it is, if the tracked rewards are anywhere near the ones you see here, if these look similar, it is easily completable at this level of difficulty, and it's 100% worth doing. Compared to games that have like an energy system or are designed to make you hit a wall very quickly, you can kind of really go in on this one and make some decent progress each day, because each day you have a whole another set of dailies to do that give you a ton more gold, a ton more experience, a ton more relic tokens. Like, you get so much that increases the account power every day that at the end of that day, you'll feel like you've made progress. You'll be achieving the next tier of clearing stages, which is a good feeling because you never feel like you're stuck. You kind of just get to proceed through the game. Again, if you do get stuck or everything is difficulty, take a look at your team and kind of just make sure you have the staples. You need a tank. You might need a healer if your team are dying too quickly. Find a tank. There are other ones in the game, but this is a unique one, so he will be there. Find somebody like Nox, who does this, who has in particularly this immortal, where they do not fall, or either where they do not fall. I like this version because he doesn't die and he doesn't drop his threat. There's another version where the person dies and then they come back, they like revive and they can go again. But what I found was in that scenario, the person, when he died, the mobs left him and went and started killing my range and my back end. And he had to re-obtain aggro. Using somebody with Immortal, they don't die, they kind of just like they basically about to fall and then they don't, and then they stand there for 8 seconds and keep the aggro. And because they can't die anymore, they can take all the damage in the world. So this early on, before my team became overpowered, I just didn't care about defense anymore. This guy cleared my first probably like 400, 600 stages because he could tank all the damage to let the rest of my team support him from behind and clear the stage quick enough so I could go all in on damage. Again, any questions, concerns, let me know down below. I hope this helps you. Have a great day and good luck.